What's going on, guys? It's the Bigs Podcast, episode number 177, and this is the 2025 draft review. With me tonight are two of our fantastic co-hosts that are going to break down the entire draft round by round, and therefore we'll probably get to just about every single team here in the league at some point or another. First with me from Denver, Colorado, Jason Ashby. Jason, you are just off of a plane. Welcome back from Florida. You got to see some spring training. How are you feeling, my friend?
Yeah, I'm a little jet lagged, but it was great, dude. Getting to see the Mets. I'd never been to the West Palm Stadium before, so I went and saw that. Watched them put a whooping on the Nationals, and sat right next to the dugout. So I had was up and close with Carlos Mendoza and all the guys. It was really awesome. So definitely a cool experience. Happy to be home, and definitely happy to be breaking down this draft with you boys tonight.
No doubt, man. It was a lot of fun doing this draft this past Sunday. Mike Haber also with us this evening. Mike, how are you feeling about your team after this draft, my friend?
I'm feeling pretty okay. I can't lie. There are moments where I look at my team and I'm like, I hate everyone. And then there are moments where I'm like, this could definitely be a playoff team. I just need a few more pitchers to get healthy. And other than that, I'm excited. I'm just ready for baseball. Like, I can't wait to text you guys tomorrow and say, tomorrow we have baseball every day for the next 6 months.
One
Woo!
more day. In fact, this past
Amen.
Sunday, I texted somebody. I was like, "This is the last day. This is the last Sunday there isn't baseball for over
Oh,
6 months." Right? You
yes.
gotta love that. You
So
gotta
good.
love that.
Yep. So
All
Beautiful.
right, let's dive into this draft here, my friends. And first things first, I did ask Mike how he felt about his team. Jason, how you feeling about your team after you come out of the draft?
Yeah, I like it better than I thought I would, being in the 14th spot of the draft. I wasn't thrilled with that draft order. I had 16 last year, so I was really hoping to be somewhere closer to the middle this year, but I'm I feel good about my starting pitching. My bullpen is a little trashy, and my hitting, I'm basically relying on a bunch of unproven kids.
Mm.
So, but like with all a whole lot of talent, the Jason Dominguez and Jackson Holiday and guys like that. So if they could all step up, I'll be pretty good. But it's taking a big risk on a lot of these guys.
I would say so, but you know what? If anybody's going to bring that team to the promised land, it is going to be you. We're going to see exactly how you do with your kids and your horses this
And
year.
how are you feeling about your team, sir?
I'm
yeah.
in I'm in love. I'm in love. I'm in love. Y'all did it again. You let me have this team. It's nasty, top to bottom. It's filthy. I got a closer in the seventh round, and I was really, really happy with that. Um, yeah, I love this team. I don't think I have to touch anything until like Memorial Day and see where I'm at.
Yeah.
Nice.
I feel
Dodgers and
really good.
Braves.
Dodgers
Dodgers
and
and Braves.
Braves, dude. Dodgers and Braves this year.
Yep.
You guys let me have it.
I
All
had
right.
no control because I was nowhere near you in the draft. I just have to say.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk
Jason.
about it. We'll get into it.
Jason.
We'll
Yeah,
get
yeah.
into this.
Yeah.
Frank was right next to me, and I'm going to tell you, he was so mad, but we'll get into it.
Okay.
Let's start with round one. What do you guys think was the best pick of that round? Jason, I'll start with you.
Um, how about Mookie Betts at 11 for you? Like, I get the guy. He can't keep food down. He's lost 20 something pounds. I get it. Maybe he misses opening day. Maybe he misses a couple days here and there. But this isn't something that's probably gonna affect him long term. And you got one of the best hitters in baseball with triple eligibility at the 11th pick. Like, this is a guy that earlier in the year was, earlier in the draft season was going top three.
Mhm.
So yeah, Mookie Betts.
Mookie Betts at 11. How about it? And why did he fall? Because his tum tum hurts.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll see what comes of the tum tum, but I don't think there's going to be much to write home about come a couple of weeks from now. Mike Haber, what do you think?
You know what? I gotta give credit to Jason Ashby for Corbin Carroll at 14. For some reason, he's dropped a bit this year. It was a slow start last year, but you saw what he's capable of in the second half, and he's probably gonna lead the league in triples and get a ton of stolen bases and hit at the top of that Diamondbacks lineup. So, Jason, I think you found a gem at 14.
Well, thank you, sir. I hope you are right.
All right, let's move to round 2, where I saw one of the biggest drops of the year happen, and it was Ari getting Gunnar Henderson at number 20.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane that this guy drops out of the first round, let alone out of the top 3 picks, Mr. Jason Ashby, who took Tariq Skubal right beforehand.
Yeah. Again, I knew I needed a starting pitcher. And if I didn't take Skubal, Schemes already went. If I didn't take Skubal, like it was gonna be a long time until I got a top ace. So I went with Skubal. Gunnar is banged up with an oblique, so he's probably gonna miss the first month or so. I've done that before with guys like George Springer, where I'm like, yeah, let me take a guy who's gonna miss the first month, and then it ends up being the first 3 months of the season. So I was like, nope, somebody else can have Gunner. I'm okay. I'll take Scooble.
Okay. What do you think was the best pick of this round?
Uh, you know what? I'm gonna go. Look, Logan Gilbert went on the back end of that round. Like to Casas. He did wait all the way around and got an ace out of Logan Gilbert. I gotta give him credit for that. I do also love the pick of Jazz and Ketel Marte. This was a fun round. Round 2 was a fun round.
Very, very fun round. Mike Haber, what'd you see here? What's your favorite pick of this round?
Yeah, I like Jaron Duran where he was taken here. Again, like this early in the draft, you're looking for guys that can do anything and everything. And this manager, Young and the Restless, is who again? Remind me.
That's Mike Sherman.
Mike Sherman, who
The new
took
team name for the first time in what, 10
It's
years?
great.
More than
Great.
that. Yeah.
But taking Lindor in the first round and doubling with Duran in the second, I feel like he can get power and speed right there
Yeah.
in those two guys. So
He's gonna own steals this year.
I like it.
Yeah.
And by the way, Mike was pleading with me to take Freddie Freeman before you did, so that you wouldn't have the Freddie Mookie. But I just
I
couldn't
knew
do
it was coming. I knew it was
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah, you did,
I couldn't do anything about it.
I mean, I thought maybe Frank would take him.
Nope.
He's a Freddie lover.
No.
But I just couldn't. I needed the starter.
Oh well. So
I'm
Freddie
pretty sure-
falls to me at
I'm pretty sure I texted Jason immediately after you picked Mookie. And
Yeah,
I was like, he's in the prime spot to do the Freddie and Mookie pairing. You need to stop it. And he's like, no, I need a pitcher. It's like, all right.
yeah, I'll let it happen. Another person
see.
who could have made it happen was Ben Nisman, who could have stopped it, but he had to take Luis Arise right there. How do you guys feel about Luis Arise going to the top of the second round? Jason?
I feel like that's great for Ben. Because I know that's a guy that he adores and treasures. So I know I saw it, like I can hear him going, yes. He probably could have waited. But I knew he wanted him, so he went and got him.
Yeah. Mike, you feeling the same way?
Yeah, I mean the biggest draft strategy is draft the guys that you trust, right? Draft your guys. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what Ben did. And would I take Luis Ariz with the second pick in the second round? No. Because like I've said before, I think he's a couple of batting average points away from just being another hitter who does not much of anything else. But for what Ben tries to do, this is his guy. So
Yeah.
all power to him.
All right.
Yeah, pairs him with Bryce Harper. Like that's not terrible.
Yeah.
No,
Did we do a worst pick of the first round, or are we skipping that?
Is there a worst pick of the first round? Like I feel like because the first round is the first round. I mean, if you want to make a case for Ellie De La Cruz going 4th overall, I know, Adam was kind of. I think he was at a hockey game, so his fat fingers maybe did something there. But
Ooh, whoa, Jason coming out swinging.
he said it in the chat.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm pretty sure I'm speaking in turn, but if I'm not, my apologies to Adam. But I think that's what happened. But Otherwise, I don't know that Ellie would have gone fourth overall, but hey, maybe he'll be good.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree with you. And I guess some would argue that Paul Skeens in round one is a huge risk, but I mean, he could also just be the best pitcher that we've ever seen. So,
Definitely definitely a risk. And but yeah, like if you're gonna risk it on anybody, it's gonna be Paul Skeens, and it's the last pick of the first round. I mean, honestly, like if he didn't take him, I was gonna take him.
yeah,
Around in the third pick of the second round. So I ended up with Scooble, which I'm fine with, but like it was gonna be one of the two of them.
yeah. Oh, for sure. So we talked on Luis Ariz. Was there another like shocking pick from round two for you, or not really?
Um, I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, I think everything looks again like this. I call this the fun round because like there was
Yeah,
some really good names going on. Jazz Chisholm probably going in the second round. Like I get it because of the eligibility
yeah,
and the what he put up for a half a season with the Yankees last year. But I feel like this is the first time he's gone higher than probably the fifth or sixth round in his career,
yeah,
and he's been around a while, so like that's a bit shocking, but it makes sense. So like I think that was Lebo. I think he's gonna do well with that. What about you?
yeah. No, I mean, I think I was leaning in that direction as well. The Jazz Chisholm pick. People are really hyping the full year in New York, which could help. And I
Mhm.
also like the pairing of Tatis and Jazz for Brian Lebo. I think that's a great start for a manager that's favored starting pitching for as long as I can remember.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
credit to Lebo for trying something different in the first two rounds here.
yeah,
Um,
and
yeah,
he's been a manager who's hungry and has been sniffing but can't quite get there. And I know he had some troubles last year. So yeah, these are two top superstars that could hopefully help him get over that hump.
yeah. Oh, definitely. We temporarily lost Joe, so we're gonna move on to round three. And
Sorry, Joe.
what? Oh, you're talking to me?
I said sorry, Joe.
Oh, sorry, Joe. I was like, no, I'm Mike. Um, so what stood out to you in round three? Any jump picks jump off the page at you here?
Uh, Garrett Crochet, I think stood out to me as somebody in the third round. Again, I know he has an immense amount of talent. We've seen like 100 innings out of this guy. So I'm just, I don't know. I would have gone that early for him, that aggressive, but I get it. Um, I just, yeah, there's too many red flags for me to take somebody like that early in the draft.
Yeah, yeah. Um, no, that scares me a little bit. Frankly, I'm a little surprised at Joe's pick, and I wanted to like actually hear from him on this. Michael Harris in the third round for
Yeah.
Joe, it stood out to me as sort of a surprise pick. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah, I do wonder how much of it was, was a jab at Frank, and how much of it I know he does believe in Michael Harris. I know he said it in the Center Field show that he does believe this kid is going to take another step forward and rebound from injuries. I don't believe it. I don't think I would take him in the third round, but it kind of goes with pairing him with like Mookie Betts again, like
Yeah.
he might capitalize on steals too.
He could. The thing that scares me about Harris is like the top of that order is so stacked even without Acuna. Like you've got Profar and Riley and Albies and Olson. Like I don't see Michael Harris moving to the top of the lineup ever, especially if when Acuna comes back. So
Right.
him hitting 7, 8, 9 is that's scary for me for round three.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. You don't see very many bottom of the order guys going that early in the draft. But
right.
again, it's Joe, so who are we to question?
Oh no, yeah, of course. Um, to me, I was definitely targeting Chris Sale at some point. So I'd like to shout out to Frank on that pick because um, I'm not a big fan of Blake Snell going before Chris Sale.
Okay.
So I'd like to, I'm happy that he was able to kind of take advantage of that, get his ace.
Yeah, and by him, by virtue of him doing that, that made me picking Framber Valdez that much easier. Because I didn't want Chris Sale, and I was afraid that he was going to be like the guy that was going to fall to me, and I didn't want
Ah,
him.
okay.
So I'm glad that Frank took him. Already took Dylan Cease, again, another guy who like I kind of didn't want, but like he was right there. I'm happy
Yeah.
with Framber Valdez.
Nice. Yeah, and just to sort of like go through your team real quick, right? Because so your first three picks were Corbin Carroll, Tariq Skubal, and Framber Valdez. So was this your plan going into it, like two starters and a hitter?
It It wasn't, but when I became the 14th spot, I kind of had to pivot and make that my strategy
Okay.
because it was just again I didn't want to have to wait forever to try and find another decent starting pitcher. So
Yeah. One more note on round three is that this is like the closers are starting to go here in our draft.
yes,
Uh,
and actually I did make a note. Was it? I think it was 10 closers between rounds 3 and 4. Where there were 10 closers drafted.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it also,
crazy.
I made it back.
also,
I'm alive.
hi Joe,
Welcome
welcome
back.
back.
I'm back. The internet is okay again, so we're gonna
Yay.
hope that it holds out for me here.
All right.
Yeah, I did notice that 10 pitchers were taken in round 3, and that 10 closers were taken off the board between 3 and 4. It was one hell of a murderer's row, and I didn't take a single one. I
Yeah.
didn't take one. Mike, I don't think you took one either.
I don't think so. Oh,
And
no, I did. I did. Ryan Walker.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
and it started with Casas taking Devin Williams first in round 3,
Mhm.
which so that was it, and that's I feel like that was Casas' strategy.
I
Like,
mean, yeah.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you know,
He was a pain in the ass at the wheel too. Like you knew he was going to do everything so that he didn't miss anything. This was a perfect example of it. I'm going to grab the Yankee closer at the top of the third and assure us all that the run is starting very soon.
yeah,
And it did
yep.
indeed.
One thing we were discussing while you were on hiatus was your selection, sir,
Yes.
of Michael Harris.
Okay. Oh, poor Frank. Poor Frank.
Yeah, you nailed it, Jason. You nailed it. Yep.
Poor Frank. 10 minutes before we were about to go into the draft room, we were out back on the porch while Benjamin was recovering from his most recent trip to the restroom, getting violently ill before the draft. Yeah, he was violently ill before the draft, and I had to set him up with his computer linked to the TV that's literally right next to me. It's a 51-inch, so that he could see, because he was getting dizzy anytime he focused on the screen. It was really bad.
Oh my god.
Hey.
That being said, Frank and I are out back, and Frank says, we're drafting right next to each other. I said, oh, I know. I'm going to take Michael Harris in the 3rd round just to piss you off.
Okay.
So you warned him.
I warned him. And there was nothing he could do about it as soon as it passed his pick in the 2nd.
Yeah.
So if he really wanted Michael Harris, he was going to need to spend a 2nd round pick for him. Instead, I take him in the 3rd, and then Acuna in the 4th, and then Ozuna in the 5th, and I've got an outfield of the Braves. And Frank hates me.
All right. Well, job well done.
Yes.
All
right. Have we moved to round 4, or are we still on round 3?
We're just about to.
We're just about to, yeah.
All right. So round 4, 6 closers go in this round. What did you guys think was the best pick of this round, Mike Haber?
Oh, I was really hoping Brent Rooker would fall to me, and he did not.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give credit where it's due for the Brent Rooker pick. I thought he was going to go much earlier than that.
Yeah, that's Adam Lowenstein. He was drafting from the Islanders game that night.
Yeah. It was a good pick.
Yeah, and we talked about him, possibly taking Ellie De La Cruz 4th overall by fat finger syndrome. We weren't sure about that. But this was a great pick of Brent Rooker in the fourth. That's pretty
No
good.
doubt.
Yeah.
I, I Yamamoto is an interesting pick in the fourth round,
Mm, yeah.
as is William Contreras, being the first catcher off the board
Mhm.
to kick off round 4 by Jimmy. I thought that was a pretty good pick. I was hoping that he would fall to me in that round, and he did not.
Mike, Bobby Russo took O'Neill Cruz here with the 10th pick of this round, and I know you were all in on this guy. Do you think it's a little early, or were you lining him up here as well?
I think it's a little early. And as spring training progressed and as we did our shows, our ranking shows, I kind of talked myself and allowed you guys to talk me out of O'Neill Cruz. So I actually
Mhm.
wasn't planning on drafting him. So this is definitely a little early for me.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you talked yourself off that ledge. I don't know about all that. Him
Yeah.
going 40-40 this year. I'm out on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was glad to see him go off, and I didn't have to worry about whether I had to take him or not. Like,
Right.
good luck to you, Bobby.
Yep. Absolutely. We'll move to round 5. In round 5, we see Josh Naylor off the board at 68 to Adam Lowenstein. And again, this is one of those instances where we were talking about guys that were drafting with outside interference. Ben and I talked about this on State of the Bigs last night. Go check that out if you haven't already, gentlemen. Josh Naylor gets picked after he took Matt Olson.
Mhm.
So he's 5 rounds in, and now he's locked in first and utility.
Yeah.
And so this might be a guy that's going to be on the trading block before too long. It's just a matter of working out the logistics, I would imagine. But this is one of those moments there. What did you guys think was the best pick of this round, Jason?
I love the James Wood pick. I saw him up close and personal the other night in West Palm Beach, and this kid is just, he has all the tools. And to get him in the fifth round, like, he could, by this time next year we could be talking about him as a first rounder. So I love him here in the fifth round to Brian Lebo.
That's a very good pick. Lebo was not very happy with his team after coming out of the draft. He wanted to get a few more closers, but just didn't happen. And he was surprised with all the hitters flying off the board early that he just sort of fell off his plan, and he ended up taking Tatis at 9, letting Mookie Betts fall, and interesting draft strategy. We'll have to see if it works out for him. But yeah, James Wood is a nice pick here in the 5th round. Mike, what do you think? What do you think here? What's the best pick?
Man, tough call. This was an interesting round. I don't necessarily love a lot of players in this round, and I think you're kind of taking a risk on a lot of them. Specifically, some of these closers. I'm not sure what Robert Suarez is going to be. I'm not sure what Alexis Diaz in round 5 is going to be. There's a ton of closers off the board here. So I'm gonna go with Max Fried, I guess, is the best pick.
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
round 5 and the only starter taken in round 5.
Yeah, I would have been very happy to get Max Fried as my ace in round 5. I actually ended up getting him in round 6, but that's a whole nother matter. But Fried in round 5 is absolutely solid to pair with. I believe it's Tyler Glasnow that's on Henry's team there. So you get a safe floor in Max Fried with the high upside of Tyler Glasnow. I like that as a 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
But to Mike's point, like, and you can see it, like, because the round starts off Teoscar Hernandez, but then you have Mike. You take Felix Bautista, which I think is a solid pick. I think he's gonna be a nice bounce back. But then you got Ryan Presley and Jeff Hoffman, like so you could see the closers are starting to wane here, and guys are scrambling, going, "Oh, I better get whatever's left because it's round 5, and I don't know what's going to be left after round 5." The Alexis Diaz pick, I know, I wonder what Ben is saying, because it's kicking off obviously a big kind of trend of him gathering up other Reds relievers because look, Alexis Diaz may not be the closer of the Reds, for very much longer.
Well, he's hurt right now. He's going to
Right.
start the
Yeah.
season on the IL with the hamstring injury. So he's gobbling up everybody that could potentially get a save. Taylor Rogers, Scott Barlow, Graham Asshat apparently has been named in the mix. I don't know why, but I digress. I like Anthony Santander to Ari here. I certainly think as a fifth round bat, you're getting him 2 rounds later than Kyle Schwarber. So I think that's a pretty safe spot there. I felt pretty good about getting Marcell Ozuna here with the 11th pick in this round as well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Round number 6. I thought this was a really fun round. What did you guys see as the best pick in this round, Mike?
There were some really fun ones in this round. Some that were questionable to me, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But Bellinger being taken out from under me was good for whoever that was. Mike Trout may have been a reach. I don't know. Maybe Mike Trout will be incredible. Who knows? It was a weird round. I do have to say I'm thrilled that Lawrence Butler fell to me all the way at 15.
That. Yeah,
Okay.
That is unreal that he fell that far. I know I could have taken him. I don't know. I kind of went, but by this time I'd already taken Skubal and Valdez. Like I could see myself going, okay, let's go heavy on the starters and see if I can build up a really cool rotation and maybe deal from that later on if I need to. So I went ahead and took another ace out of Imanaga. But there were still some really good hitters left, like Lawrence Butler, that or even Cody Bellinger. I would have liked. Yeah.
I love Jordan Westburg to Bobby here. I thought that was a really great pick, really smart move. I know that he really likes this kid, and that he's going to be he's part of the namesake of the team now. So
yeah.
All right, round 7. Round 7. What was your favorite pick there, Jason Ashby? What did you think about round 7?
This is another good one. I'm glad that Frank got his Yanyer Diaz. I feel like that's a win for him after not getting any of his Braves outfielders. At least he got his Yanyer Diaz. We know he loves him. I'm gonna say Matt McLean is an interesting pick here. Again, I think there's a bounce back potential there, but it's a risk. At round 7, maybe it's not as big of a risk. But this is a guy who didn't play at all last year, but he has skills. So I'm curious to see how that works out for Adam.
Yeah, and pairing him with Ellie De La Cruz, I think, is a really smart move. You just got to play toward the upside and hope that these guys will play to their 90th percentile outcome.
Right.
Mike, what'd you like about this round?
I'm gonna go with last year's league winner in my brother, but Christian Walker in round 7 is gold, and people were afraid of taking him because of his injury, but it looks like he's okay and could potentially start the year with the team. So
yeah,
I like that pick there. I also wanted just one comment on round 7. I was so torn with my pick. I wanted that third closer, but I also wanted Christian Yelich. And I was like, whoever I don't pick, I'm not going to get. Like, it's. And I went with McGill, and I'm happy I did, but, like, I kind of regret not having Yelich. I wanted him this year.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Henry, if you're listening, there's a trade partner for you.
Yep. Hey, Henry.
Moving to round 8. I liked round 8 very, very much. I ended up taking Spencer Strider in round 8, and then he went out and had a 10 strikeout game like the next day. I was super excited about that.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw you pick him, and I saw your grin through the computer screen. So, yeah, that.
Frank with another scream from the other room.
Yeah, yep. I heard that.
What else did you like about this round?
I think Hunter Brown is going to be an underrated pick. I like him this year with the Astros. at 8th to Lebo. And also, I'm pretty happy with Wilson Contreras. I gotta say, like, as my catcher who's gonna play first base, he's gonna play every day. So
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about, like that was the one thing about that kept me from taking his brother was, do I want to spend that early draft capital on a guy who's probably only going to play 5 out of 7 days, 4 out of 7 days? I don't know how much they rest him, but a guy like Wilson Contreras who's not going to catch, he's going to play every day, but he sits right in my catcher spot. I don't got to touch it.
Yeah, no, that I love it there for you. I absolutely
Yeah.
love that pick. Mike, what did you like about this round?
Yeah, I like some of these young starters that came off the board here with Schwallenbach and Brown and Bryce Miller. One thing I did not like was Jose Barrios in this round. When you have other pitchers going in round 9 named Bailey Ober or Shane McClanahan or Hunter Green or Seth Lugo, I would take any of those names over Jose Barrios, but maybe that's just my personal preference. I felt like it was too early.
Okay. I personally thought Pete Crow Armstrong was too early. I was like, oh, is this the new Akil Badu? Is that what we're
Okay.
doing here?
Fair enough.
I may eat my words on that one, but perhaps this is
to give you an idea, Jose Barrios' ADP in Yahoo is 210. So that probably could have waited a little bit, to your point.
Yeah.
The other one that took me off guard a little bit was Lou Bob.
Right before him.
Yeah. I was like, oh, no thanks.
No, don't like Lou Bob in the south side of Chicago this year. Huh? He's still
I don't
thinking
like anybody in the south side of Chicago.
they're going to lose 110 games. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
No, you can always hope he gets traded. I mean, 8th round, if he puts up the 30 and 20 that we saw a couple of years ago, then yeah, that might be really great, but I don't think that's happening.
Yeah.
Moving into round number 9, Yandy Diaz and his massive biceps go off at the top of the round. I ended up taking Shane McClanahan, who has an impinged nerve in his tricep now. That's what happens. Damn.
Yeah, apparently it's like the best situation. So
I don't know. I guess. I mean, he's my 3, so I'm not so lost about it, but it's it's disappointing when you really want to get somebody and you get him and then he's going to be hurt for probably a month or so. Yeah. Mike, what did you like about this round?
Yeah, I liked Ben's pick of Seth Lugo this late to kind of anchor his team, right? Like, was this his first pitcher off the board?
Correct.
He has traded, FYI.
And he traded him.
Oh, yeah. He traded him, right?
But
still, I mean, the value of getting Lugo here.
Yeah,
it's a good pick.
Absolutely. I liked your pick of Profar, by the way. Do you want to give me credit there? Nice pick of Profar.
Thank you. And that was my makeup for losing Christian Yelich 2 rounds earlier.
Gotcha.
Makes sense.
Jason?
Ari sniping Hunter Green for me. I was that was probably the one, because I didn't feel very sniped in this draft. That was probably the one that I was like flipping furniture.
Moving into round 10, we see Paul Goldschmidt go off at the top of the round. I took Isaac Paredes, much to the reigning champion's chagrin. He was very disappointed because he was trying to line up some Astros, and I just threw a monkey wrench into those plans. My favorite pick of the round goes to actually same guy with Brian Wu. I would much like to have a conversation about a trade, sir.
There you go.
There you go. Mike, what'd you like about this round, man?
I'm one of the believers in this guy. He had a bad year last year, but Adolis Garcia in round 10, if he can give you something close to what he was 2 years ago, this is a great steal. I like it.
Gotta love Cody's pick of big dumper Cal Raleigh here as well. I like that.
Yeah.
That guy just got an extension, 6 years on 100 and change. Okay, sure.
I love Adam's pick of Colton Cowser. This kid, it's triple eligibility in the outfield. You can move him around, and he's going to be there every day. I like that pick for Adam.
Okay, very nice.
I I'm wondering about this Bo Brisky pick.
Yeah, that was one thing I had written here in my notes. I was like, Bo Brisky and Jason Foley at the top of the next round to Costas. If these are the Detroit guys, then okay. But who's the Detroit guy?
It could
Yeah.
be Tyler Holton or Tommy Canley could actually lead the team in saves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a bit of a committee. I guess those two guys are like the favorites, but yeah, I mean, I get pairing
early.
them. It's a little early. Yeah, they probably could have waited.
Yeah, definitely. And that'll
Especially,
bring us.
I'm sorry, but if Justin Martinez and AJ Puck are on the board, I don't know why you're taking Foley and Brisky over those two.
It's a good question.
Yeah,
Good point.
I spent the draft. I was like, okay, fine. I'm 14th. I tried to do that. I tried to do the either Puck and Martinez or Estevez and Urseg for Kansas City. Those were
Right.
the two pairings I was trying to target. And just as I thought about it, like Martinez and Urseg went. I was like, well, fuck. There goes that.
Yeah. Yep.
Mhm. That'll bring us into round 11, where we see Jason Foley go off the board, and probably the biggest reach of the draft, Rob Refsnyder in the 11th round there. That was a big palms up. I don't know what's going on here.
Yeah.
163 for Rob Refsnyder.
I think he's since been dropped.
Really?
I believe so.
Oh.
Yeah, it hurts. It is draft day capital, and that's definitely a pain when you see names like JT Realmuto and Carlos Correa and even Ezekiel Tovar going off the board after Refsnyder, and that guy is now gone. It's disappointing.
Yeah, and like he already had Aaron Judge, so I mean, he had no other outfielder between them, so I guess that was meant to be like another outfield find, but yeah,
just not a great pick. I also want to point out Royce Lewis is back on the IL.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
yes,
he's back on the IL.
Yeah,
season hasn't even started yet.
He's already hurt again. 173rd to Ari. He was falling like a stone in a lake. Jason, what did you like about round 11?
Oh, I hated your pick of Tommy Edman because that's who I wanted. Yeah. And in round 11, like, give me that guy because he's gonna be hitting their top bottom of the Dodgers lineup. Doesn't matter. He's playing every day, all over the place. Love that pick, and I love the Joe Ryan pick for Cody.
Yeah, I like Joe Ryan. I do like that pick a lot. Mike, what did you like here?
I like the end of this round. I like Ben with grabbing his shortstop there and Tovar, and I like Jimmy's pick of Justin Steele at the tail end of this round. I thought that was a steal.
I see what you did.
I do see what you did there.
Yeah.
That'll bring us into the Dirty Dozen round 12. I have written here Cade Smith, Jason. Who?
Look, at this point, my bullpen was, and probably still is, but my bullpen was a disaster. And I needed. We have a lot of relief pitching spots in this league, and I needed to fill them. Cade Smith is the next guy. If Emmanuel Clase falters, he's next in line. So that's where I was going. The guy throws hard. He's nasty. He looked really good in the playoffs. So maybe he has me a save or two.
Okay. We'll have to see. I liked Clay Holmes to Chris at 190. He certainly got his mojo back with that pick after doing the Rob Refsnyder thing.
Yes, absolutely. I love that pick.
That's a great pick. Mike, what did you like?
I was actually considering taking Xavier Edwards as my utility spot, and I'm kind of glad that Frank just beat me to it because now looking back, I probably wouldn't want that for my utility all year. But I do like where Frank got Xavier Edwards here, and if he can, hit around 300 and steal a bunch of bases, like, this is like a Luis Ariz that runs a little faster but hits a little worse. So,
okay,
yeah.
I also love Josh's pick of Brendan Donovan in round 12. I think that's gonna be a really sneaky pick.
No love for my pick of Max Muncy? You didn't like Max Muncy? No. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
My fourth Dodger at that point.
Yeah, you're basically the Atlanta Dodgers.
yeah.
Mhm.
I think my brother was targeting either Muncy or Arenado, and then boom, they both go off the board back to back, and he's kind of stuck with that Brendan Donovan at third base. So I think if you were to ask him, he probably would say he's not thrilled with it. But
Mhm.
He's gonna hit third in that lineup for what it's worth, and
Yeah.
he's gonna play all over the place.
Yeah.
I like it for round 12. I like it.
yeah,
Yeah, nice versatile dude. And
Yeah.
listen, I'd certainly like to have him too over Jordan Walker in that lineup, but I digress. Bring us to round 13. What do I have written here for round 13? Alec Burleson to Brian at 201. I happen to like that one a lot. Another guy who's going to hit in the middle of that Cardinals lineup. Somebody's going to have to drive in the runs. They're not going to not score. So
he got himself a couple of his Cardinals. He got Mason Wynn earlier. He got a few Cardinals.
yeah,
He got Sonny Gray. Yeah, he's happy.
all right. Actually, no, he didn't think he did well. He was not very happy when I spoke with him. He said
Okay.
he said he was disappointed. In fact, I'll pull it up here in a minute. What did you like about this round, Jason?
I texted Mike and I said, "Is Jason Dominguez good?" And I guess for round 13, I'm hoping that pays off. As somebody in that Yankee lineup, but aside from that, I did like Kerry Carpenter here for you, Mike, um, and actually Jason Adam for you, Joe. I think that's
Thank
a
you.
great pick because who knows what's going to happen with the Padres bullpen, but
Yeah,
he's a solid reliever.
yeah.
Mike, what did you like here?
Yeah, no, I was gonna call out the Jason Adam pick as well. Loved that one. I like Michael Toglia. I think that's a fun, sneaky pick that, he can play a lot of he first and right field, I believe.
Yeah.
A couple of picks in this round I questioned. Josh Smith. I don't even think
Yeah.
he's starting. Is he even
I don't
on
think
the
so.
roster? I don't
I don't
know.
think so.
He is on the roster.
He is? Okay.
But yeah,
But they're
he's
playing Josh Young at third. They're playing Semien at second. They're playing Seager at short. Like,
Yeah.
where's
right.
this dude going to play?
So he's there for when Seager inevitably gets hurt.
Which might be right now, apparently. He was pulled from
Oh,
the
God.
most recent game.
Okay, so let's just say Costas knew that was going to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I think to your point, Ryan O'Hearn, I know he got popped, but I'm not a fan of that guy.
Me neither.
Like, and Tyler O'Neill went after him at the end of the round, and I would have picked him first. I mean, unless you need a first baseman, but I probably would have picked Tyler O'Neill before I picked Ryan O'Hearn.
Yeah. Round 14, gentlemen. What do we think about round 14? I have written here Bowden Francis to Bobby at 218. I really liked that pick. Mike, what'd you like here?
I'm sorry. I have to go with my own pick.
I love your pick. Yeah.
Austin Wells.
Austin Wells in round 14 is I think the bet my favorite pick of myself in the draft.
Okay.
If he legitimately is hitting leadoff for the Yankees, I mean I liked him before he was moved to the leadoff spot, but I think that the sky's the limit for him. He had a horrible postseason, which is why maybe he fell a bit, but he has no one else really competing with him for this position like he had last year. So
yeah,
he can run with it.
You know who was very upset by that pick?
Who?
Bobby Russo. Bobby would have been very happy to have Austin Wells as his catcher.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Which explains the Logan O'Hoppe pick the next round, but
Yep.
I digress.
Yep.
Jason, what'd you like here?
What I like, I like Griffin Jacks to Cody. I think because again he's next in line after Duran, so I like that here in the middle round. Look, I love Jared Jones. I know I'm sure Frank is holding his breath that this kid's not going to need the TJ. It seems like right now that he's just going to rehab it, but we'll see. So if he's healthy, I love that pick for him. But oops.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that sucks, and that explains the trade for Eduardo Rodriguez here in the days that came afterwards. Because man, you just don't want to see a young kid like that go down with Tommy John this early.
Yeah,
Sucks.
especially on the Pirates, because now there's like the Pirates are just that Jolly Roger is sunk.
It has it sunk a
Yeah.
long time ago, and it's
Yeah.
yikes.
Yeah.
Into round 15, gentlemen. Round 15, I have written here Dansby Swanson to Jimmy at 240 is my favorite pick of the round. So I thought, I thought he had a down year last year. He might have a better year this year than what we saw in 2024.
Yeah.
Jason, what'd you like in this round?
Brandon Lau. I really, he was gonna be my pick this round. Because
Good call.
we talked about it. Him in that AAA park. You know, that's looking good. I also liked the Heliot Ramos pick.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna
Yeah.
mention him.
Yeah,
Okay.
Herman. I think that's a sneaky pick right there.
Mike, what do you like about the Heliot Ramos pick here?
Well, he's got the 3 outfield eligibility. He proved last year, in granted in a small sample size, but he proved last year he can hit for pop, he can run, and he is going to hit in the middle of that lineup with Chapman and Adames. And there are worse places to be, so I like the upside here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In the 15th round, like this is a guy who could, he could return 2020.
Could.
Yeah.
I like it much the same way I like Victor Robles to Adam in round 16 here. You know, triple eligible, probably has a higher upside of steals than Heliot Ramos versus the home run potential of Ramos. The lineups are about the same, San Francisco and Seattle, but I think Robles is going to hit at the top of it. So he's got Julio protecting him and driving him in. I like that more. So yeah, I'll take Victor Robles, but I understand the desire to have somebody like Heliot Ramos.
Yeah.
Sure.
Into round 16, what did you guys like about it? I have that was what I had written there was Victor Robles to Adam. Mike, what'd you have?
Yeah, I liked a bunch of picks in this one. I'm gonna give credit to Jimmy for Drew Rasmussen. I think that's a fun pick all the way in round 16 of a guy that could potentially be the ace of the Rays when all is said and done. So credit to Jimmy there.
Jason, what are you thinking here?
I love your pick of Walker Buehler.
Thank
In round 16, that's a fun, if he's healthy,
Yeah,
that's
he went late.
also a good sneaky late pick.
Yeah.
And Frank would Bryce Terang also in 16 in round 16, because I mean, like, he's not going to do a whole lot other than steal bases, but like, if you're starting second baseman and stealing you 50 bases, you could take that in round 16.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. That's a category winner every week.
Yeah.
Well,
And he's plugged in there, like he's not going anywhere. So, unlike Evan Carter, who didn't even make the roster. So
yeah,
that sucks.
Sorry, Jason.
Because we were getting down there, and I was like, I need another corner outfielder, and like, I could have gone with Robles, but I don't know. I just like Robles doesn't have the on base. I don't know. He's hitting at the top of that lineup, I think, because out of necessity. He doesn't have great on base, so I don't know that he's gonna stick up there. And there really was nobody left after that, so I had to go with Evan Carter. And
yeah, and here we are with him in the minors because he had a terrible spring. That sucks. That sucks. We moved to round 17, and what I have written for round 17 is Carlos Santana finally goes to our commissioner at 270.
He went home. Yeah,
He did go. Yeah, he's home.
He went home. Yeah. He went home to Cleveland. He went home to Ben's team. We all love it. And I clapped from the other bedroom. I clapped very loudly for it. Yes. God damn it, that's where it belongs. Mike Haber, what'd you like about this round?
Yeah, 2 picks that really stood out to me. I love the Grant Holmes pick for Brian Lebo. I think that's a fun up and coming pitcher. And I'm gonna give some credit to Frank for Jeremy Pena this late in the draft.
I
Round
agree.
17.
I like Sherman getting Dustin May as well. Jason, what do you think?
Yeah, that was that. I was going with that too. Um, yeah. Otherwise, this was definitely. Taj Bradley. At the end of the round, I thought was a nice pick. This kid was, he was pretty good for me down the stretch last year, and if they give him a full season out there in Tampa, he also could be ace material. So, yeah, I like that pick for Jimmy.
All right. Round 18, I have written here there are multiple great picks. Jason, I loved your pick of Matt Shaw at 275.
Yeah.
Cody, I liked his pick of Gavin Williams at 283. And Chris, I liked his pick of Jackson Jobe at 286.
Yeah. And I think that was even before it was officially announced that he was going to make the rotation.
Yeah.
So
I think so too.
Yeah. So that's awesome.
Jason, your thought of my pick of David Peterson in round 18?
Also, yeah, I saw him and I looked at him and I was like, but like he doesn't have the strikeouts, so I'm like, but at round 18, I guess who cares? He's gonna be there every day, every fifth day for us, and I'm glad he's on the Mets team.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And look, Lars Nootbaar to Costas at the end of the round, I think is also pretty sneaky. If this guy, if he plays regularly, like this is a guy who could also be a 2020 guy.
Yeah, I heard that he might be leading off in St. Louis too. Like that's a possibility. So if that's the case, then that's a really great guy to have.
Roster Resource has him leading off.
There you go. So maybe he will. Round 19, I have written here Jock Peterson to Cody at 294. Whole lot of power from the left side and pretty good batting average, but he'll never play against lefties. So you got to find another left fielder to pair with him. What'd you guys like about this round, Mike?
Yeah, this is a weird round for me.
Yeah.
The Jock Peterson pick was good. Otherwise, it was a little bit kind of all over the place. I guess Luis Rengifo I like this late with the dual eligibility, and if we get a full season from him, like I think that's a nice sneaky pick for a bench bat. But otherwise, there was like, I don't know, it was a little like strange this round for me. It was like setup pitchers,
Yeah, that's my next round. Round 20 is that one for me. I don't know which one I like. I like your pick of Jonathan India too, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I do too.
Thank you.
And I also like I do like Bobby's pick of Nathaniel Lowe in round 19. Like he could be sneaky.
He could be very sneaky. He could get 20 homers and 30 doubles. Like that would be really nice.
Yeah.
Be very nice. Round 20, I literally wrote, I don't know if any of these guys are going to be good. I literally don't know if any of these guys are going to be good.
I wrote down, wait. I wrote down, Frank, what is a Justin Anderson?
He's apparently going to close in Chicago, according to some source that Frank has, between him and Mike Clevenger. Yeah.
Okay. Like,
he's got the Rockies closers. He's got the Chicago White Sox closers. He's got the Pittsburgh Pirates closers. And he's got the Toronto Blue Jays closers. He's got 4.
Okay. Cool. Just the wrong teams.
Cornered the market on crap teams.
He could win saves some weeks. We shall see.
Yeah, I guess so. I do like in this round Grayson Rodriguez. I don't know what this injury is going to do, how long is going to keep him out for, but if in round 20, if there's anything that we can get out of him, I love this pick for Cody here in the 20th round.
Okay. All right. 21st round, I ended up taking Brandon Sproat to stash away on my NA. I wrote down here Jesse Winker, when paired with Starling Marte by our commissioner, 335 to 338. I love that 2 guys that he'll take. And Jesse Winker being left and right field eligible means you can play them both at the same time if they're somehow both in the lineup. I love it. I loved the picks. Thought it was a great idea. Jason, what do you got for me in this round?
Yeah, that's a great call. I love Reese Olson to Bobby, and Jeffrey Springs to Cody. Those 2 back to back were really fantastic picks.
Mike, what do you like about this round?
Hey, Frank, shout out Cole Keith, round
Yes.
21,
Yes.
who's going to be first and second eligible. Great pick.
Well
Great
done.
pick. Yeah.
Well done indeed, sir.
Yeah.
Frank, you know what? Not for nothing. Frank killed it this draft. I thought he did really well this year.
He did.
We'll get into who we liked most and who we think
Yeah.
needs some help in a bit. But let's move into round 22, where again the aforementioned Starling Marte got taken to pair with Jesse Winker. What the hell did I take in this round? I forgot. Connor Wong, right, my catcher, who just sat around way too long,
Yeah.
way too long. This round, I like Matt Waller by Frank at 341. I think he's going to lead off for the Twins and hit 20 bombs. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Mike, what do you like here?
I like Eric Fetty. I think that's a sneaky pick too. To get a reliable, innings eater starter this late in the draft is great. And hey, good for Brian Lebo getting a Cardinal.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
It's like the third or fourth Cardinal he's gotten, but he's scooping them up. He's making it happen. Jason, what do you got?
I like that Taylor Rogers and Tyler Rogers went back to back. That's cute. I thought
That's
cute.
amazing.
Yeah.
I saw Taylor go, and I was like, his brother's gonna have a really sad night if I don't take him right now.
Yeah, I like that. So that was fun. And I do like that I kind of stumbled into Garrett Mitchell. I mentioned that I took Evan Carter because I didn't think there were any more corner outfielders, and then all of a sudden Garrett Mitchell was still there. I was like, okay, let me take this kid because I think he's gonna end up getting the playing time in Milwaukee. So I'm happy with him.
Yeah, all right. Maybe he could hit 20 homers in Milwaukee. We'll see.
Yeah.
Moving into round 23, I really like Luis Severino to add him here. I thought that was a really smart pick. The new ace of the Athletics, and I think it'll do good there.
Yeah.
Jason, what do you like about this round?
How about Justin Verlander? To Sherman. He's had a really good spring and he's looking healthy. Look, if there's one last season of Justin Verlander, maybe this is it. But there's no reason to think he's not going to go out on top. So, yeah, new digs in San Francisco. I like this pick of Justin Verlander in round 23. Okay,
sure. I like the ballpark more than I liked Houston.
Yeah.
So maybe. Mike, what do you like here?
Wilyer Abreu.
Yeah.
This late. I love that.
Triple eligible. In Boston. What's he gonna actually play? Right field?
Right field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Round 24, Roman Anthony leads us off as the NA spot for Jimmy. I ended up deciding to take Aaron Bummer just to piss Frank off one more time and take another Atlanta Brave. Jason, what'd you like about this round?
Mike and I were texting about it. Garrett Whitlock, I thought was a great pick. I know you dropped him since, but I thought that was a great pick. And Byron Buxton to Lebo in round 24. Again, I know the story about Byron Buxton, but if you assume he's healthy and you assume you're gonna get something out of him in round 24, and if he's broken, you toss him away. But that's a great pick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice pick of Will Warren, by the way, Jason. I like that.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Another one he texted me about.
Yeah.
Is Will Warren good?
Yeah.
I have 2 Yankees on this team. I feel kind of dirty.
Dude, I have 5 Braves on this team. I don't want to hear it.
Well, that's just disgusting.
5 Braves on this team.
After having how many Phillies last year?
Yeah. I had 5 Phillies at that point. Yeah, 5 offensive Phillies. I have 5 offensive Dodgers. 6. I just picked up Andy Pajes today.
Oh my gosh.
Yep. Round 25, gentlemen. I have Luis Heel written here for Frank. Even though he's going to miss a month or 2, I still think it's a good pick this late in the draft. 3 months?
3 months.
Oh, that's a lot of time.
That's a lot of time.
Oh, I didn't know it was 3.
Yeah.
I don't like that as much.
Yeah.
Well, what'd you like about this round, Mike?
I like Trevor Story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's stopping him from obviously his health, but he can be 2020 in round 25.
He sure could. He could also play 25 games.
He could.
Yeah, sure could. Which is interesting because he's pairing him with Gunnar Henderson. This is Ari. Ari picked Gunnar Henderson, who we know is going to miss time. So he has Trevor Story to fill in until he's back. Then what? And so I'll be curious to see, does Trevor Story get dropped when Henderson's back? Like,
Not Ari's team. Ari's not dropping Trevor.
Oh, so yeah, right. So he's gonna have 14 bench hitters, and have a whole
Trevor
bunch
Story might not play fantasy baseball after Gunnar Henderson gets back. He might just sit on Ari's bench like Lawrence Gurriel did last year and just not play this game.
Yeah. True story.
Let's wrap this thing up with round 26. Mr. Irrelevant this year is Garrett Clevenger out of the Tampa Bay bullpen. I went with, who the hell did I go with? Max Meyer. Yeah. I like that kid in Florida. All right.
Yeah.
Jason, what'd you like here?
Jung Hoo Lee.
Yeah.
Like, again, another San Francisco Giant, but he's gonna, if he's healthy, he's hitting right in the middle of that order. Like, to get him in the final round, like that could be, game changer-ish.
Yeah.
Mike, what'd you like here?
I mentioned it in our starting pitching show about my sleeper, my deep coma sleeper was Mike McGreevy. So shout out to Brian Lebo for stashing that guy because it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
Okay. You really like this kid.
I do.
Okay. All right. I've got a couple of questions and we will wrap it up. So what do you guys think? Who went way too early? Other than Rob Refsnyder and Jose Barrios that we talked about.
I mean, for me personally, it would be Luis Ariz.
Okay. Top of the second round for Ariz is way too early. Jason?
Yeah. Way too early. Like, like Ellie De La Cruz to me, like fourth overall. Like I get he probably would still go in the first round, but the strikeouts and the errors are just too much to gamble on that early in the draft for me. So I probably would say Ellie as a safe too early draft.
Okay. Who went way too late? For me, it's Gunnar. For me, without question, it's Gunnar Henderson. The fact that he went at 20 is
even with the injury.
Even with the injury.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
Guy should have been off the board before Ellie De La Cruz at 5 or 6, in my opinion. But what do I know?
What do you know? It's just when he fell to me, I went, this game is so not hard. You guys make it so easy. And I hit the Mookie Betts. It's so easy. So much fun.
I'll say Brent Rooker.
Okay.
Say Brent. Yeah, I just seen him in the second or third round with that kind of power. So he made it all the way to the fourth. So that's kind of late.
Yeah. All right. What was your favorite pick from your team, Jason?
From my team.
Yes.
I'll tell you what. Without thinking about it, I'm probably gonna Roki Sasaki and Shohei Ohtani pitcher. I like having them together. I think I like that because like as once Ohtani's back, I feel pretty good about them kind of pairing together. I also love my pick of Wilson Contreras we talked about, and you mentioned Matt Shaw.
Okay. Mike, your favorite pick from your team?
I mentioned Austin Wells. I think that's my number one favorite. I'm happy I got Jonathan India in the 19th. But you know what? Bobby Witt, I am just so happy to have a full season of him on my team.
It's going to be a fun season for you, sir.
Yeah.
You got one of the lucks of the draw. I just had to hope everybody else made somebody fall. My favorite pick, obviously, is Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
And I don't care that his tum-tum is all sore. He'll be just fine. He'll be just fine. Final question. Did anyone get sniped or did you miss out on anyone that you would have drafted? Jason.
Yeah, Hunter Green was right in front of me. Ari took him right before I did, so that was a snipe. Um, but other than that, I mean, there were a couple of like, oh shit, like I wish wish he would have waited. Yeah, there was definitely guys that I would have liked to have gotten that I probably waited too long on. Uh,
Mhm.
like I don't know, Xavier Edwards is probably one of them. Brendan Donovan for sure. Clay Holmes, but
Mhm.
like there wasn't much like furniture flipping for me.
Okay,
That's
that's
good.
good. It's always
Yeah,
good when you can keep your furniture on its legs. That'll be great.
That's
yeah.
good.
Mike, same question. Did anybody get sniped from you?
Jackson Job was picked directly before me, and he was my target. So I had to pivot to Jeremiah Estrada, who's good, but I obviously Job was first in my queue, and yeah, just sniped.
Disappointed.
Yeah.
I didn't get sniped in so much as one guy just kept pissing me off, and that was Costas. Costas at the turn just kept grabbing dudes that I thought would fall a little bit more, and
Yeah,
Devin Williams was one of them. I guess Freddie Peralta would be another. Like there were just a couple of guys that I'm like, I would have really liked to have that guy, but we're like so far apart in the draft that it might not have even happened anyway.
Yeah.
yeah. He took Alec Boehm and Yanni Diaz back to back, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah,
Do
it's an
do
interesting
either
quarter infield.
do
Good.
either one of you have like one pick of your own that you hate?
Mm. I'm not entirely a fan of the Aaron Bummer pick, but
Okay. Hey,
I mean,
if it was round 24 that you hated your first pick, I think you did pretty well.
yeah, I felt really good about my draft all the way up until then. It's where it
Yeah.
went downhill.
Evan,
Jason.
Evan Carter.
Uh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
How about you, Mike?
yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, I'm still on the fence about where I drafted Pete Alonso. I'm worried that it was too early. Um, he could have a really big comeback. He could, I mean, he's proven to hit 40 home runs in a season.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I'm definitely like regretting that a little bit. And then um Trevor McGill I think is going to be fine, but the fact that I took him over Yelich is a regret of mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, this has been a fantastic draft review. Thank you so much for being here with me on this evening. And we are but what, 2 sleeps away from baseball? Is that right?
Who sleeps?
2 sleeps. We're
Two
a day and a
sleep.
half away. Jason,
Cannot
thanks so
wait.
much for being here, man.
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't even like. I don't remember what I just did today. Like this is what matters, and like, I can't wait to hear two sleeps until baseball. That just made me that made me shiver.
All right.
Oh,
Mike Haber. All right, thanks for being here, my friend. My brain is starting to go to sleep. I'm very tired. So thanks for being here, my friend.
no, of course. Yeah, I love breaking down the draft with you guys, and I could not be more excited for nonstop 6 months of baseball starting 2 days from now.
It's here. It's here. And we will be bringing you guys the reviews just like we have for 4.5 years now. It's time to get this show on the road and get this party started, guys. It's
Yep.
2025, year number 21 of the Bigs, and it is here. Thank you so much for being here with us. Until next time, it's been real, it's been fun, and it is always real fun in the Bigs. We'll see you next time.